Welcome back for another day of more of the Summit 7 Chinese qualifiers. We're starting the day really strong today. We have a very familiar face-off between both the Invictus Gaming squads. My name is Hades, and with me my co-caster PQMZ. Hello, P.
Radiant team ban.
Alright, looks like you're still muted. Can you hear me, dude? Alright. We're just trying to fix some issues with the audio. But otherwise, I think, okay, for you guys, if you don't know, well,
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, me and PQMZ, we've done this before.
Reserve time.
And okay, yeah, just give us a couple of seconds, guys. We'll be right back. Just fixing the audio. Hello, can you hear me, P? Alright, so we managed to fix the sound issues, guys. We have sound, so don't worry. Yep. And I mean, we've done IG versus iG.V before, haven't we?
Reserve time.
It's true. I think it's just fate that we always end up getting to watch Burning and Bobica in play. We don't really get to see iG.V that much, but we definitely follow a ton of like IG games. So surprisingly, they let Treant and Ricky get through. They let the Earthspirit go through as well. It actually feels like the iG.V, they're okay to let IG get, or let Bobica get his heroes.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
That's Lina as well. Okay, this I understand why. She scales really well as a core now because of her talents, but I agree with you about the Sand King part, since we've seen some questionable Sand Kings. Like they get maybe a good start in the first 5 minutes, and afterwards they just kind of fall off. But I mean, I'm still kind of stunned that iG.V are like, okay, whatever, give Bobica whatever the hell he wants, we'll cope with it nonetheless. Unless IG has taken a shift towards a different direction. They're giving Bobica like the Sand King, for instance.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Don't forget, if Lina gets an Axe this game, that spin is not going to save the jug. So, pure damage and all, it's a strong nuke. If anything, this could be a really hard game to be a Juggernaut. But I mean, we've also seen basically Chinese teams, once they hit the mid-game, they start to group up, they start to take objectives together, and that's where we see more team fighting happen. And that's where heroes like the Warlock, you can see why this hero really appeals to Chinese teams, and to some in Southeast Asia as well. But okay, now IG, they're actually going to ban out the Ricky, because Dogfight's also another player. I mean, not on this, probably not the same level as as Bobica, but Dogfight's also plays a ton of Ricky.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Those were basically the staples of the IG drafts for some reason. I think it's possible that they also have maybe the same coach, but alright, Earthspirit Warlock. And already I can see the appeal behind it. It's such a strong hero. Magnetize with Warlock, Fatal Bonds, always a bitch to deal with. And it's just such a pity that you don't get the Darkseid this game though.
10 seconds remaining.
Legion Commander.
Radiant team pick.
Alright, and now the third pick, Legion Commander
10
from
seconds
IG.
remaining.
Well, hopefully this Legion Commander does not have a disastrous
5
game like KP
seconds remaining.
yesterday.
Reserve time.
That was basically the giveaway of dual damage. You know. Wait, how so?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Shadow Fiend.
Oh, Shadow Fiend
Dire
comes up.
team pick.
Alright. Okay, hold on. I think you're just cutting up just a tiny bit. Let me boost your volume a bit.
10 seconds
Alright,
remaining.
better. And so you were saying?
5 seconds remaining.
I think with Discord you have ping issues compared to Skype. That's why. Even though
Radiant team ban.
Yikes. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think you just sound a bit robotic, but there isn't any real lag on my part. Is it okay for you?
Dire
Alright.
team ban.
And IG, I mean, you talked about it before, P, that basically Lifestealer is a staple of Chinese drafts. He's a consistent pick. And at the same time, you said, we saw some really good Lifestealer games yesterday, and some of them not dying at all. And
10
you always
seconds remaining.
refer to this hero as a tempo controlling hero, don't you?
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh.
Radiant team pick.
You can see the Beastmaster
10
ban as
seconds
well from
remaining.
IG, because I mean the Raw obviously bypasses the Rage,
5
so it
seconds
just goes
remaining.
straight to the Lifestealer. But okay, Earthshaker, I did not see that coming from iG.V. In July must be an Earthshaker player. And don't forget as well, a really well positioned Fisher can cause Burning to take a long route just to get to the targets you want. And I always find that Earthshaker is not just about the stun as well, but the direction in which you place the Fisher can really separate the enemy team, especially in these 5-on-5 fights. And
10
never forget,
seconds remaining.
just the threat of that Blink Dagger Echo Slam. But of course, if you're playing from really
5
far behind,
seconds
it just isn't
remaining.
fun and all to play. I mean, Earthshaker, we don't see this hero picked up too often as well. He's really, really greedy. But do you like this pick? Do you think it really works out for iG.V's draft?
Prepare for battle.
Well, okay, for you guys who don't know and you know a bit curious why the draft ended much quicker than you usually would like, it was because there was a draft penalty. Players were late. Game was supposed to start at 12 p.m. sharp, and yes, we have a really strong admin, really strict one too. So I think if the players weren't responding on time for the coin toss, he was like draft penalty for everyone. But that's what gets us our games on time. Gotta love this paparazzi juggernaut set. That set costs like what, 300, 400? Is it like $400 now or something? This set,
30
the steep set.
seconds to battle.
I think it's the equivalent of the cost of at least 2.5 Dark Artistry sets now, but that's true. In China, they actually have a lot of fans. I think I remember at Shanghai Major, there were like girls waiting outside the hotel for CTY, or like burning, just camping just to take a picture of him, and then they were like back off. But oh well, you know, maybe you don't get that in the EU scene that often, do we? I mean, it's mostly guys. Okay. Already our middle lane becoming a bit of a 2v2. Bobica coming in here with Sakata, and okay, now rolling in, but you don't usually see Bobica and Sanking. Like this 4 Sanking, which we're starting to see a lot more from the Chinese teams, and we'll see if this here actually pays off, because I think maybe they like the caustic finale slow. And on top lane, do they want to try into Injula? He's having a okay time, I feel. Creep wave is already quite near the tower, so he shouldn't be struggling that bad. Yeah. So Bobican dogfight's going to actually have a dogfight right now, and you don't want to be trading that many hits with Bobica. He has the boots, he has the tangos, even though you have the Orb of Venom and Dog. So okay, pretty intense middle lane for sure, as both sides are trying to gain their cores and advantage. But Sakata, now as he gets the raise, at least will be able to last a bit more. Oh, misses the power strike just barely. Oh, you don't want to be trading that many hits with OP, dog. Sakata also falls a bit low. Maybe the Dragon Slave if he can reach the range, but Sakata is extremely low. Has those tangos to work with. Right now they just reset, but the same can be said for dogfights and Sakata as well. So this middle lane really very even. No one has a clear advantage at all. But dogfights now the Invictus mode. This is actually a pretty big rune.
I'll take your tribute.
Excuse me. I thought I muted my mic, but apparently I actually just muted the mic straight out. But yeah, it's a bit of a really cold and wet day in Singapore. I woke up and was like, oh shit, it's raining. But yep, sorry about that stream. And dogfights with this Invictus rune. If he can find a level 2, he could actually do something happen here. Going for the roll. I think the raises OP should be dead, but the Fisher will block him off. Nowhere to run first, blood going their way. Bobica trying for more courier antics, and now he'll have to go for the optimistic TP out. As, oh, actually OP gets a return kill onto dogfights. He's actually going to come mid again. Oh no. Oh, nowhere to go. Flash Attacker, he gets the enchant totem off, so OP is going to be a bit afraid. Does not like that big totem there. And Sakata actually not going for the bottle this game. Wait, is it in the corner? Yes, it is. I find.
An exceptional.
Oh, dog. He's gonna steal the bounty rune from XXS as well. Yeah, I find that the boots startup on SF is severely underrated, especially since, like, when players like maybe play it, they actually go for he just buys clarities instead if he ever needs the mana instead of going for a bottle. So I think some of the mid players just haven't really embraced that yet. But now Bobaca and Q will go for a bit of a smoke. We'll see if they can find the SF. They know he's a bit low. He's farming up really nicely. Even bottle crowing as well. So they put the ward down, don't see the Earthshaker. They're just gonna camp the middle lane. Hopefully they will find themselves that kill. But Bobaca is still level 1. He's not able to. You know, this is a really short range on the Burst Strike. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I think we have to go to Skype because once again stream is saying they can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello. There we go. Right, guys, we are back. And hopefully you can hear, you know, PQMZ's wonderful voice. Apparently I've been schizophrenic. I've been talking to myself for the past 5 minutes, so bear with us a
Well, I
while
haven't
more.
actually said anything interesting, so it's all good.
It's all good. I mean, your analysis helps a lot, especially since, you know, co-casting is always more fun than solo. And yeah, this game much more disciplined between these two teams compared to the series. I remember game 3 yesterday now, that was a bloodbath. Okay, they get the kick onto XXS. This should be the second kill, maybe. Yes! Paparazzi gets it just in the nick of time. And they have a double damage there as well, giving it to the SF.
Thanks.
Bobaca really needs more levels. Level 3, yeah, but that's because he went back for the Iron Talon.
Dire's bottom tower.
And now it's all just playing catch up, which gives IG a lot of room on the map. Right now, and this is actually going to become really annoying because both teams are IG, but the Radiant have like a lot easier time moving around at the moment because the Phoenix isn't going to have any impact. The Sand King's constantly jungling to try and catch up now, and the only thing they really have to worry about is this Lina blowing up their Shadow Fiend. So if the Earth Spirit can either be there when Cicada wants to go to the lane, or the SF just braces out the wave and goes to the jungle, they're in a really good spot.
Rolling
That being
again.
said,
Ooh, that one was a bit close, bit more to the right.
IG's the dire side cores are farming about 10% better or so, and that's the only really good thing that's going for them right now because their supports have issues, to say the least.
Oh, bottom lane, they actually do find another kill. That'll be the first Omni Slash used from Paparazzi. Alright, I guess that was bound to happen, especially since XXS, he was playing with fire, constantly getting very close into Paparazzi's face. And we already know from DAC that Paparazzi is a very aggressive laner. He'll actually sacrifice CS just to get some harassment damage out. Asserting dominance, that's what this guy just does.
His 1v1 prowess is pretty well known now. And you can translate the stuff from the mid lane into side lane matchups pretty easily. It's all about...
Look at that. Oh, he gets 2 crits in as well. Wow. I mean, yeah, you get 1 overwhelming odds blow onto Paparazzi, but... I mean, this is a juggernaut. He has the healing ward, he has great self-sustain, even though the cooldown's a bit longer. And yeah, now he's just gonna get Shadow Word up. Boom, Paparazzi should be back to full HP in just a fair bit. Meanwhile, Earthshaker almost level 6, going for the 2-on-2 build. Dagger's not gonna come up that quickly, but with the help of bounty runes, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And actually,
He's doing pretty well
bottom lane, they're
considering.
going to XXS one more time. Down he goes, killing spree for Paparazzi. And here comes the Phoenix, going to try and burn him down, but the Golden Kitty will be there to just provide some great region. But Sankey comes in, Bobacan wants the 75 go, will he get it? Yes, of course, the silence is not going to be
Dire's
there.
middle tower.
Actually, wait, it is. Sorry, take that back. And not a double kick. Doge fights, now going to get out, and Paparazzi will also follow him to the shrine.
Dire's structures are
That's a huge save. If he doesn't connect that silence, the jug goes down and suddenly the dive doesn't look so good. But instead the Lina rotation gets nullified and the dive is successful and it feels a lot better while their Shadow Fiend's just free farming.
They used the shrine without Sakata. He must be quite sad.
He has a regen rune, he doesn't care, man. He can just continue cleaning up the jungle, go back to the wave, get that #1 net worth spot.
He's almost there, but Burning is actually still on top. And he has
Midas
a
Gaming.
Gaming. Man, he's going to be really, really farmed.
This is something I really don't understand.
Which is?
Going Midas first here.
No, they have plenty of downtime, and like you said, when they like to group up, what do you do? You're not going to be hitting creeps. So I guess that's the alternative, isn't it? And
The way I'd look at it is more like you have this Phoenix hero who's gonna hit the initiations for you. You just get in, he TPs somewhere, ideally towards the Shadow Fiend's lane, I suppose, and you buy your armlet, you push the tower after smoke ganking him with an Infest Bomb, and the game looks a lot easier. Instead, you slow the game down a lot by going for this Midas, and by the time you make that rotations, maybe both supports have level 6 on iG.V's side, which makes it a lot harder for you. Same thing with Earthshaker, if he gets his dagger, then it makes it a lot harder for your team to follow up. I can understand like going back for the Midas like we've seen several times before after the armlet, but it just seems weird to me. And yes, it makes a lot of sense for like the money issues. You want to get the Midas as soon as possible so it pays off, but if you don't have any presence in the game, then iG is just going to, iG.V are just going to farm their cores to the point where they 5-man. And you kind of want to use your hero to stop them doing that, or at least slow it down.
well,
Because
right now iG.V, hold on. There, go get back to EP because they're going for a smoke. They're gonna roll in right now, getting the silence and the kick. It's gonna be off the mark, so seems
that's
like a waste of
ambitious.
smoke. Very, very ambitious. I think he could have waited for Sakata to get a bit closer, and now instead he's just going back to the jungle, and the same will be said for Burning. Gets the +5 all stats for the talent. LC now to level 6. We'll see if iG will be able to find a duel soon. I mean, we're 11 minutes in with 5 kills. Both sides just happy to farm, get some safety levels, safety items first.
And Warlock 6 now, thanks to the Tome. And now the Radiant probably feel quite comfortable with some levels in Healing Ward, start pushing some towers. Now we just have to see iG's response. Because losing their mid tower is not something that you want to just throw away.
Gonna try again for another kick. It's gonna connect to Burning's tail. Right, XXS also gonna get some chip damage into the bottom tier 1 as they do take the mid tier tower. So iG.V, are they actually climbing away with this game? Because so far they are the ones who've been making the rotations due to the draft. There's very little that iG can do, and how long more do you think before we see iG making their own moves?
I'll take your
I'm guessing it's the Sand King Blink, which is ages away if he continues farming at this pace. I say ages away, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, but in that time iG.V are probably going to look to use their rock, take your safe lane tower, maybe a tier 2 if you don't feel confident fighting into it while they still push with their rock, and the game gets really hard for you then.
iG getting the kick out, it's gonna land to the Phoenix, now of course to the Fisher and the Chaotic Offering. Not gonna take the risk, they bring down the bird. Wow, that was 2 ultimates for support, so I think they'll be quite okay with it. Okay, immediately Burning goes straight to the bottom lane. They want to take the tier 1 tower once and for all.
This is good reaction from them.
Structures are fortified.
They might actually be able to swing
They
some
don't know
kind
about
of fight knowing
Sakata's
those
Shadow
ults
Blade.
cooldown.
It's gonna be really, really bad looking for the Requiem of Souls. Bang! Down goes XXS! Burning also to follow him into the grave, maybe. Let's see if it infests. Yes, he does. He will get into the creep. But still, what a way to debut that Shadow
Dire's
Blade.
top tower is
Getting
under attack.
himself one big kill, and this is how IG will know. So he's just gonna infest back out and run away.
Dire's
But top
top
lane, they
tower.
do
And they
take
still get the
C1
tower top as well. This is
I think
huge.
they want to fight. Bobica has a stun, might find in July. He needs to run all the way to the north. Yeah, but the Echo step. Oh no, I don't think that's how you want to be using your Echo, but IG will take what they can get. And he was
It's still a win for them overall.
And he was still on pretty good timing towards getting that blink as well. He was at 14 to 1500 gold, now down to 1200. And this is where pretty much iG.V reload, go back to the bottom lane with the super Shadow Word. Very, very easy for Sakata to just clear the creep wave and take out the tier 1.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And they know that the
Middle
Icky
lane.
heroes are.
Paparazzi once again being extremely aggressive with direct success. He just won't give up. But dogfight, no pun inside. Of course, with the barrel strike, he should be down here. Sakata will find Bobica in return. Of course, now they pop this dust, getting the line strike array. The Shadow Word here is going to be there with burning. Can he right click this Sakata down? Trying to trip the hits for the razors. Sakata, I'm not sure you wanted to do that, but okay, Requiem of Souls, burning in the rage form will not take any damage.
Leave a little juice in those souls.
Ends up being really good for IG in the end there. The SF overstaying his welcome, getting picked off in a trade for the Earth Spirit.
You lose Earth Spirit and the Shadow Fiend, I think. Hold on, let's look. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
This will do.
And I just have to say, like, every lifestealer in China so far has this golden, like, immortal item. I'm not sure if it makes you look like lifestealer. I mean, lifestealer's kind of like a zombie, but this makes you look like something from Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah, it does actually. I think it's a cool immortal though. I hate the golden ones personally because they never fit the colors of the hero. I used to be really into hats, but ever since they implemented the trading ban thing for like a few months, I've kind of not given a shit anymore. And that was what, like a year or two ago.
Damn. I mean,
Used to love my hats, man.
I still do. I like
Valve
them.
killed it.
They did. Well, gotta give a shout out to all the, you know, the hat creators like Anuxi. I mean, she's created some really amazing sets. I met a few as well at events. I actually respect how they put in so much time and effort to create these sets, and I think there was a thread about it on Reddit, with them not really getting recognition again at events or TI, something like that. But okay, iG.V going back to the Roshan, and I don't think IG are really in a position to actually contest this, because right now they're too far away. This would go down very, very quickly.
Yeah, they were just a minute or so too slow with like the Sand King getting his bling. They're trying to wait out the LC getting his as well. It's low enough now though.
Dive going in. Do they still want to initiate here? They have to blink dagger. Bobica going in. Oh! Okay, no, they still get the Magnetize coming out. The Rocket's going to go into backline. If the Echo Slam, they find two, but the egg is going to be there. Magic Proc, I think it will. But Epicenter, of course, now he's just going to get out. Burning as well, also going up. But Bobica dying there, they lose the Aegis. Not the ideal fight. It just felt too rushed, and of course they were just shrine up. But if they were maybe 3 seconds earlier, IG probably could have taken that fight more confidently.
In the end, it's still not too bad for them though. Like they force out the rock, they burn the Aegis, and they only lose their Sand King and ultimate cooldowns. In the end, it could have been so much worse for them. Like they could have not taken the Aegis, and then when IG go for this push, sorry, iG.V go for the push, they have an Aegis on top of this. Whereas now, if you see a good enough Sand King stun, you can feasibly fight this because they have so much burst from the
Looks
leader.
like they found Burning, but no, nice double barrage strike from Bobica. Alright, you lose in July. Chicken will also go down. The Gunabit's going to fly onto Paparazzi, but there won't be enough right clicks from the Fiery Soul. Sakata laying out the Requiem, but not really doing that big damage as you would expect. So now, IG, do you chase? I don't think so. It's going to be a 3-on-3, but still. Pretty good pickup over there, and that was a lovely actually triple burst strike from Bobica. He dies, but, you know, I would say he actually salvaged the fight for them, that little skirmish.
Yeah, most importantly, they stopped the push. They effectively trade 2 supports for 2 supports. It was an offlaner in iG.V's case, but none of the cores went down. it's all just about IG delaying the game to the point where they get the round of items that actually allow them to either start splitting the map or take the engagements favorably from the start. Like LC is going to want to BKB, I think, immediately after you buy this blink, and that's a long ways away. Similar thing for like the Sand King getting his follow-up item. The longer they can draw out the fights, I think the better for them. And obviously Phoenix levels are a huge thing as well. The second level on the egg just makes it a lot harder to punish if he makes a bad decision.
The extra, how many attacks again?
It's free, right?
Yeah, so the also good thing right now for IG is that they have the dual damage potential, which has increased on XXS because of the Blink Dagger. And if anything, they have more potential to keep someone from running back. Because so far, obviously, you know, the calculated Chinese teams, they'll just like back off if they have one man down. It makes it easy to at least catch one person and be, you know, be logical. iG.V or IG, they won't take that kind of fight. So now we see another smoke coming out, and Babaka should be heading into the enemy Ancients area, I believe. They want to cover this Lina, anticipating a gank onto her. I'm just waiting for that bomb.
It's really interesting to see how they read the map, because obviously we have clear vision over all of this, and they have no idea where IG are smoking. They know something's up because of where the lanes are and the lack of heroes showing, and the fact that the Lina's...
perfect scan! So now they'll know they'll move to the right.
And in the end, it just secures the tower, gets them some really deep vision. And the Radiant are going to be more than happy to say, yeah, you smoke towards our tier 1, we don't really care, we're going to walk down mid. We have a BKB Shadow Fiend now, which is going to make your fight a lot harder. This is a really good pick to start it.
So dogfight's already being sacrificed. Nice egg. The Echo Slam is going to catch the lifesteal and nowhere to run. And I hear a duel. Do they get the duel damage? Yes, they do. Super goes down. Egg is going to proc. They will take care of the golem at least. So that's going to be a nice chunk of gold going their way. But you don't want to walk up into that. Saka Tatsu as a referee for souls. They're just going to right click away. They don't even care. Phoenix almost goes down actually, but alright. Sakata with that 10-second BKB, was it? Yeah, I think it was. And now they just push out the waves. Oh, I think they found Babaka. Yep, they will with the enchant totem. No sandstorm to run away with. Babaka now going to burst strike away. Dogfight's looking for the kick. Babaka, oh, he actually blinks out. Juke. And they don't care. They're just going to go maybe find XXS. They are thinking about it. Paparazzi. No, immediate blink up from XXS. I'm not used to seeing him on Legion Commander. Usually he plays these like AoE heroes, or at least heroes with potential for AoE, like a Centaur Stomp or even a Slaughter at times. But still, you know, being on a hero like Legion, I feel like he's restricted.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, he's
right now. They go for the duel with
that
Sakata into the Sunray. Can they actually get the kill on Sakata? Yes, winner. But now the Magnetize will fly out, and iG.V they need to back off. Super should be down here to burning those phase boots. Phase boots in a bit. They even used the urn for this. They really want to burn him down. But the healing ward's gonna be there. Super actually will die anyways. And almost bringing down Q. They will be okay. Pulling up and no real trouble there. Even finding a region with the Legion Commander.
Everything's going really well for them now. The SF having his BKB down when the fight starts, getting dual orders like a shit show for him. They had no rock to cover him because they used it in a previous fight, and I think they really wanted to punish the window where there was no Phoenix Egg. But they just weren't respecting the fact that they still have a load of damage on the Dire side. Like, Burning has a Deso, the Lina is level 16, all her nukes barring the ult are maxed, and she still right clicks like a truck because she took the damage. Just needs a bit of time to get the stats rolling and she's good.
Yeah, she
and
also Bloodstone charges, and also like you talk about the Midas being a questionable pick on Lifestealer, but now he's almost pretty much on the way to an Assault Cuirass. This is going to negate presence of the Dark Lord at least a bit. And oh, we might see a bit of engagement in the jungle. They see Paparazzi XXS. Do we get the duel out here? Oh, he's going to go for the spin and into the diffuser purge. But now he will use the duel. He needs to kill him off. The heal going to be there. Into the epicenter, catching two. And bang, down goes Paparazzi. Down goes Dogfights. Double kill for OP. And they're looking for a bit more. They want to find Super. Do they have a burst strike? No mana onto him. missiles. The Echo Slam is going to be there. Now flying out, landing into 2, but the egg. They need to kill the egg. Now they have to run. iG.V, they have to back out. This is not the fight they were looking for. Burning, still on the chase. They pop the dust. They want to fight Sakata. And now he's going to pop the BKB, turn around for XXS. Looking for the razors. Bang. Oh, he can't get the Phoenix heal. The Sakata going to get racked up by Burning and OP. And bang. Rampage for OP. And that's going to be a ton of Bloodstone charges going his way. Made up for it. He's going to say hashtag worth it.
He definitely is. And it's only going to get worse now because they can rotate bottom, start chunking this tower if they want. Or they can play safe, go back, spend their money, heal up, instead of burning all the end charges. It's just really hard for iG.V now. Like, as you saw when they went for that, the Jug doesn't really do enough, and he can't frontline in these fights because there's just too much damage from iG. And it's a similar thing to the Shadow Fiend. Sure, you've got the ability to mitigate the magical burst if you get your BKB off, but they still have enough right-click damage. You can't sit there and trade hits.
They go straight for Paparazzi. They found him again. They need to get the Laguna Blade. Bang. No way to do anything.
And now you see they're splitting up, trying to farm the map as you kind of default to when you're losing team fights. And that's iG's game plan. They have these really strong pick-off heroes. And if you ever manage to get into an engagement, the Phoenix covers their whole teamfight issue.
OP now going to look to try and push out this bottom lane. Alright, so
Radiant's
P,
bottom
how
tower
do you
is under attack.
see iG.V actually coming back into this? Like, is there an item which will really help them turn things around, or do you just like...
Aegis.
Just Aegis? Okay.
I think that's
Radiant's
it. Like,
bottom tower has fallen.
the chances of them getting a good fight around the pit is very low. But if they can somehow like bait and switch and get an Aegis, the game might be salvageable.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Like after the first Roche, it all kind of started going downhill for them. Sure, they had a few nice plays with the first BKB use, but other than that, iG have just been running away with it. The gold lead's nearly up to 10k. Once Lifestealer finishes his AC, the physical damage is going to become even more of an issue. Like finding kills like this it really doesn't mean anything. It's just a Sand King. It gives you a bit of momentum, sure, but you need to be finding those on the course if you want to feel good about your game.
Okay, but so would the butterfly make any difference at all in the fights? Like, at least, you know, in the 5-on-5 engagement, do you see this butterfly being a huge turnaround factor for the Shadow Fiend?
If RNG is in his favor, it could make a big difference, but when he's getting dueled and focused by the Infest Bomb plus Alina, Butterfly's not going to save you. No item's going to save you there except an Aegis, and it's only going to last for a few seconds. It's like a team effort now. There's not one single item that's going to get them out of this. It's going to be like either some kind of high ground advantage fight where they play around their vision and they're fighting IG in a spot where they have none themselves. Maybe some bad eggs from Q could also turn the fight around for iG.V if they manage to kill that and then snowball the fight, but otherwise Roche is the name of the game for them. And because of the respawn time and where IG were, they're getting to this a bit late, but it might end up being in their favor because if they just blink in and steal the Aegis, they're in a really good spot.
Oh, blink in, Bobica, what are you doing? No, he blinked up to the high ground and Sakata will get that Aegis. And now they have to realize Burning in July. Okay, looks like they take out 2 anyways. And hold on, no. Dogfight actually gets out. Sakata thinking about going for that Requiem of Souls. This is not the play. The duel. Down goes Paparazzi. That is not okay, but that Requiem of Souls going needs some chunk of damage. But still, Sakata, he's gonna lose the Aegis here.
Look how quickly he dies.
Oh, this is a full team wipe. This is a complete shitstorm for iG.V. It's a disaster. Sakata, nothing to do. 1v5. 1v4 actually, but that was so bad. And that was despite the fact that iG actually, you know, messed up on the initiation. Instead of going to the Roche pit, he went up into the Ancients area, not even landing a power strike. This is actually a high ground. They can force some serious buybacks here and destroy the enemy economy.
Radiant's middle tower is fallen.
Yeah, they only have Rock to worry about in terms of like the big team fight ult, so if they don't overstay too much, they can clean the Thrax. There is Echo as well, actually, but they're not going to clump that much. The only heroes they're going to be hitting the tower are going to be the Lifestealer and the Lina.
Well, now the Echo comes out, and of course, there we go, that big rock. Where the Fatal Bond still burning. Okay, Fisher connects up to 3. And bang, down goes Burning. Paparazzi actually going to get himself a kill. There's Blood still denying, giving him a bit of healing HP and all. But Q will still go down, and there's nowhere to run. And meanwhile, all the way to the left in July, chasing Bobica. Should know where he blinked to. I don't think he... Oh, what the...
Nighttime vision. That was a sick blink, actually. Not many people do that. But they made a really big misplay there by putting their cores close enough for that to happen. If you have the Lifestealer hitting the tower here and like Lina up here, it's completely different, but instead you're in range to get double echoed. The silence from the Earth Spirit stops the Lifestealer turning with like Rage Infest and then winning the fight subsequently. And while it still ends up being racked for the main IG squad, it's a bit of comeback for iG.V. They do get a good chunk of gold out of that. And if they can get a tier 3.
It could be iG.V, they could be the main IG squad. They're looking to fight for that at least. And alright, there's no way to really push into the high ground here. iG.V could be taken to go to the top tier 2. So I think there was actually a period of time iG.V was considered the main squad.
Was that before Burning started playing properly again? And
maybe. Oh, shots fired, P. That was low.
I mean, he had his downtime, right?
Every player does.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and now he's back to B-God status.
I thought Bobica was B-God.
Burning's the original, man. He's the Emperor. That being said, in comparison to how good he was back in the day to the rest of the squad, I don't think anyone's ever going to get that much better than the rest of the world again. Miracle's like the closest, I suppose. Maybe. Like, players are just so good as a whole now, it's really hard to see like that definitive gap that you used to get in like the Dota 1 days. I kind of miss it.
Alright, hold on. They may be thinking about going into Sakatai. Back. What? They want to go into OP. He was not going to be there. Actually, getting the return kill, but now they will go for the duel onto the Juggernaut. Phoenix Egg will proc, but it's okay. Looks like they won't get the dual damage anyways. And Paparazzi now on the run, gonna get stunned up by Bobica. That's gonna be 3 heroes down on the side of iG.V. Invictus Gaming looking very, very strong. They can actually just go for the shrine after the tier 2 tower. I feel very afraid for iG.V. Like, I love the Earthshaker pick, don't get me wrong, but so far when it comes to these taking the fights and these in-game decisions, it feels like IG are just always a step ahead.
It's also just the draft. Like, their cores just do so much more right now. In fact, every one of their heroes just does more. Like, Legion Commander with this little farm is normally an issue, but he's covered by the egg every single time. And because they're at a deficit, iG.V, they don't feel comfortable hitting the egg. So you just get this free dual target every time, which equals one target's getting locked down, one target's getting infest bomb. So you're probably going 3v5 after the egg. At worst, maybe 2v5. And fight's over at that point. And there's just really not that much they can do. They're relying on some big initiations from the Earthshaker.
I mean, we also haven't seen like iG.V have been able to cope with that egg at all. Like, they rarely get to the point where they actually get to hit the egg, because every single time Q's just been in the back. So I would say it's also credit to him for positioning that helps them, or helps him get off these really good eggs. Every single time he pops an egg, I feel like iG.V are just like, alright, let's just run. They want to try a kite, but it's just so hard.
The cores are just, they're too small to be able to take the fights. So if you commit 8 hits to that egg, Lina and Lifestealer start running at you and you're like, was it really worth killing the Phoenix when these heroes get to hit us and then subsequently kill us because they are stronger?
Decisions in life. Alright.
Yeah, they've got some hard ones. They are managing to keep the net worth up on the 2 cores really nicely. It's just about actually having it translate to the fights now. This Satanic, it could be really big for the SF if he draws 1 or 2 of the cores to hit him, then he heals up with his BKB, but I don't see it being that feasible, honestly.
Well, look at the smoke movement from IG. They want to try for round 2 again, but IG Vitality.
They've got wards in the base, they can do this.
Oh, they go for the bar strike immediately into the bomb. Now looking for the duel onto Sakata. Oh no, this could be a disaster as the Shadow Fiend goes down. Omnisash is not going to fly. Can he bring down 2? Yes, he can. No, the egg comes out at perfect timing. Wow. But can he get the kill? No, look, I think the egg is actually going to proc. Magnetize is going to do a fair bit of damage. Sakata's going to try and bring down OP.
Take the gem.
Wait, no, they left the gem behind. And now the Sunray, can he kill Sakata? Dogfight. Dogfight is actually going to push Sakata back. He did buyback finish, don't forget. And now OP, they actually bring down Paparazzi. You lose 2, but that was an SF buyback. That was really, really worth it for Invictus Gaming. And that was really close as well. I would say Dogfights saved them that fight. If SF had died there, that would have been game over for iG.V.
It still might be, considering that they know there's like a window where there's no jog. If they saw his inventory, he just bought a Maelstrom. At this stage of the game, he doesn't have the luxury of having buyback on top of that. And they're going to have like this 20-second window where the LC's up, his jug isn't. If they can find a pick, especially the Shadow Fiend there, then game does end.
I'm just gonna say
they don't have egg though, so they might opt to play it safe because they know they're stronger right now. They've got a 12k lead. They can spend their gold, wait for a better situation, maybe where the Radiant side push out into some vision.
Might even think about waiting for the next Roshan. And I mean, during that whole fight, Bobica never used Epicenter at all. I feel like this pause for Sand King is not so much about relying on that ultimate, but just the burst strike. It's just a stun, man. It's so good. And if he gets to the level of an Aghanim Scepter, that initiation range is disgusting.
Itemizing a bit differently this game though. I think taking the silence off is a much bigger deal. It's killed burning several times, so getting the Lotus Orb is going to be a big deal.
Alright, so right now
they know Roche is up.
they will go for Smoke Flare. iG.V, they just wanted the souls on Sakata, using the Manta illusions to just scout out the Roche pit. But like you said, both teams, they are aware which is the next big prize. And they're just going to smoke into the Roche pit. If they can sneak this would be really, really good. IG have no idea that this is going on.
I think they do.
They do?
They just don't necessarily know how quickly it's dying.
Oh dear, what a disaster. And right now, the double Fisher connects onto both, but they have no more follow-up. And this way, Sakata is just going to use a Shadow Blade and walk out. So I guess with the Aegis, it does buy them a bit more time.
That's about as good as you could hope for. No fight, claim the Aegis. As long as they don't get picked off here, because they're super split right now. I don't think IG have an idea though, because no one's shown and all the wards got de-warded by the gem. So that could have been really bad if IG jumped on there.
Hitting to the bottom, you can see all these heroes waiting there. If they can find the burst strike, but no, they know that SF has the Aegis, so they don't want to overcommit onto that.
The fact they're still playing aggressively when the other team has Aegis just kind of shows the state of the game. They're quite happy for this, because they know if they don't force the engagement, IG don't really have the tools to go on them. Initiating with Fisher is generally a bit clunky, and if you go in with like a one-man echo to start the fight, I don't think it's good enough for IG to follow up. It's actually just not a long enough stun. And unless the Earth Spirit, I don't know, some kind of god and kicks people into the base, they don't have a way of dictating the fight on their terms.
I mean, we still might see that. We have to hope for the best. Maybe Dogfight's funny, he finds some really good inspiration, but we can only wait and see, because the future in Dota is unknown right now, especially in this game. So this is really, really intense. Both teams don't even have wards. Like, if you look at the minimap, IG Vitality do not see anything outside their base, and if you look at IG as well, like, I think
they
IG
don't need wards, so
yeah, they can try to starve them out, but still, they don't have any wards of their own. Like, even a lane ward to make sure.
This is their ward. Like, these creeps, that's all the vision you need when the other team's sat in their base. You don't need to place wards.
Money to burn.
MKB on the way out for burning, so he's probably going to get rid of that, either the Midas or the Armlet. And just look at how iG.V are playing right now. Like, they're basically 3 heroes protecting Sakata. They have to keep him alive. They can't let him burn the Aegis for nothing. And it's so scary because if iG.V win a good team fight, let's look at buyback status. No one in IG has buyback, so this is why they have to play safe. If anything, they're farming that out right now. And if iG.V win a fight in this timing window, they can actually breach high ground.
I wish I had your optimism. I really do.
It's Dota, man. You said it before. Anything can happen. Anything.
Just because it can very rarely means it does. I don't know, you see this situation 100 times over and what, they make the comeback once? Don't get me wrong, like, they're doing a really good job to keep their cores equal with IG's heroes. The main difference is actually in the supports. That's where most for gold lead is. But it's all just on their composition right now. And they're at such a heavy deficit, it's gonna really come down to some clunky engagements. I can't remember if it was NoTail or Envy who said it, but when the game goes at this kind of state, you need to play really chaotic and make the other team not understand what's going on for you to have any kind of chance.
That has to be Envy. I don't see NoTail saying that.
I know NoTail said when the game goes full retard, you just have to go with it, but that's not one of these games. It's not something Chinese teams can really do. You see how 5-man orientated they are because they know it's a risk. And they might feel that the game's not as over as we can see from the spectator perspective, with like how the fights have gone. And honestly, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this Satanic on the Shadow Fiend team getting the extra levels and just getting that bit tankier in conjunction with the Jug having a cheese. Maybe they don't die straight up in right-click wars anymore. But if they don't, they still need a lot of help from their supports.
Well, regarding that phrase, Confucius said that if you go full retard in Chinese games, you just lose game.
This will do nicely.
I don't think they know how to go full retard. That's the thing, though. They're way too disciplined. Like, if this is some European team, there's no way they're sitting 3 heroes behind the Shadow Fiend while he farms an ancient camp. They're like trying to do some clunky, retarded shit on the other side of the map where they're hiding in trees over here. And they probably lose games because of that. Whereas, what IG are doing is playing as safe as possible. And it's working for them. They're prolonging the game, they get a tier 2, they're getting a lot of money infused into their heroes. But I think half the reason it's working right now is that IG is so determined to wait out the Sages and not take any form of risk.
And this is just really good discipline. Once again, coming up from IG, or this is just how Chinese Dota is played in general. So, okay, let's do a quick like trivia or something like that, right? P, if you watch Chinese Dota, you learn discipline. What do you get if you watch C Dota or EU Dota?
C Dota is like crazy ideas. You see some stuff in there that you look at and occasionally you'll just be like, yeah, that's retarded. And then you actually think about it, and if you think about it hard enough and in the right situation, you're kind of like, actually, no, that's genius. Genuinely, that happens to me when I watch C Dota. Yeah, well, EU Dota, I don't know, it's just like a fuckfest of tier 2 teams at the moment. There's so many, but we only have like 1 or 2 actually good teams, which is sad.
I actually like to think of it another way. Like you have basically 5 Narutos, all fighting to be Hokage, and you have another 5 who are like all the Uchiha Sasukes, and they want to basically also fight for the Hokage spot.
Can you do a Dragon Ball reference, dude? I never watched Naruto.
Dragon Ball? Okay, basically we got 5 Gokus who are fighting really, really hard, trying to be number 1 in the universe. And on occasion, you have this one Broly who just coming out of nowhere. And then you have like 3 10-10s waiting in the corner. I'm not sure if I got that right.
I'm not really sure what you're referring to be honest. I'm just going with it.
I think I've just gone full retard. Okay, what about NA Dota then?
Well, they might still be awake, so I'm not really sure I should say anything about NA Dota.
Oh, it might trigger someone.
The fight's about
we're going to see a fight, exactly. And now they'll go immediately, but the Echo Snap catching on the 2. Big fatal bonds and the Omni Slash. 2. Okay, one there really down, but everything's tanking right back right now. Paparazzi, he had his moment to shine. But Sand King's already coming back into the party and back into the fight. Looks like they want to try and isolate Super over here. Sunway actually not the kick. Oh, save it for now. Now the egg will pop out. We need to get dogfights over here. There's no buyback on the Shadow Fiend. And that's going to be 4 heroes going down. IG. They found their opening. There is no buyback at all on the Shadow Fiend. The Earth Spirit.
That's game.
The fight went so well. iG.V looked like they found a great initiation, a great Echo Slam into the Chaotic Offering, great Fatal Bonds. What happened?
What happened is they just don't quite have damage. Like, the Phoenix is...
Utilize to get toasted. Roast beef. Just end the game.
You're making me hungry now, man.
Dude, man, I'm a food person. I'm just saying, every time we cast, have you not realized I always get a food reference in one way or another? But okay, you were saying like they didn't have enough damage. What else was it? Was it just IG just outplaying them? Or was it just in the end the net worth which finally caught up and it was too much?
It's hard to put like a definitive thing on it without taking too long, but that was the first fight where Vitality actually got a jump that was kind of on their terms. They found the Phoenix, they got, I think it was 2 Hero Echo, decent Rock, decent Bonds, and their Shadow Fiend wasn't dead at the start of the fight to a duel. Everything was looking good at that stage. Then the Lifestealer and Lina started hitting people, and then it didn't look so good. I think half of this is just the nature of the Juggernaut hero. Like, if he's ahead, he's so scary, but when you can't man-fight with this hero and no one on your team has, like, really strong lockdown, which is what I actually had this game, whereas Vitality, they had, like, team fight elements, but they didn't really have catch, so they couldn't kite the fights as easily. Once they blew their load, that was it. And then their cores had to deal with it, and they just couldn't.
Sorry, I just had to be like, sorry, you that last sentence of yours was a bit provocative. You can think back about it when you go back to watch the VODs later, PQ. But
no, I know what I said.
Oh, alright. It was planned. I got baited. But alright.